speaking of teams, it sounds like to fix this problem internally with shadow IT, you have to fix the relationship between your development and business units and central IT. How would you go about starting to mend the hurt?
All right, well, let's see. Well, I want to touch on because the two pizza concept, at least I thought, or the one pizza concept was always an Amazon one. At least I had heard many times, right? And I find that here's the problem when it comes to mending the hurt, right? And it is that bring the parties together, understanding the relationship between the application and the operation start of it, and it all stems from I want a calzone, right? It's the pizza teams, but you got the guy who wants a calzone. And guess what? If you don't have that calzone, we got us a problem, right? And that is and mind you, it's a pizza, but it's for one, right?
Right.
You're not sharing a calzone in COVID times. I mean, so we peel that back a little bit, and it really kind of falls on the. This is a problem I've seen numerous times throughout just traditional organizations, be it small or giant, large enterprises. And you can ask them, "What do you guys do?" "Oh, I'm an Exchange admin," or "I'm a SQL DBA." "Cool. No, what does the business do?" "I don't know. They pay my check, and I'm a DBA." Right? And it's the lack of connection between the IT and IT operations teams, and just like everything that has IT in its name, and the business units, because I've worked in gigantic Fortune 500s, and they really did not know. They didn't care what the business did. They cared about where their paycheck came from and what their function of what they were doing did. And there's nothing wrong with that in the grand concept of it, because it's like, hey, you do we make sure that your service is available when you want it. And then if you want a new server, 90 days and we got your SLA for you. And I think it's that tie back to the lack of connection between the SLAs and each of the groups and understanding of what they're doing, and the kind of the urgency on it. Because if people are compensated purely from you do your job and you meet your SLAs, and the other people are like, no, we need to run fast, there's a lack of connection for business to ops, and kind of tying all those pieces together.
How do you get that connectivity then between those people so that people are on the same page? Are you suggesting reorg is appropriate, or is it more about people understanding each other's worlds better?
It can be a combination of the two. So if you have a new executive or an existing executive comes in, and I look at it in almost an evangelistic nature, where they're going like, this is something we're going to do that's going to make operations better and be able to serve the business better, and this is going to make the business be able to be more reactive, responsive, move faster forward, all the various terms, and where they're actually on board, where they're saying, we're here to help you be successful. Do you have particular roadblocks? Let's help you. Let's help you be able to accomplish these things. So IT might say, you know what, we don't have enough services. We have these particular problems. We have lack of particular skill set. We can fill that gap in. The business may be saying, hey, we want these particular things, but we need Kubernetes and containers as part of this. And IT is like, I'm not going to IKEA and buying you a Kubernetes. Like, what is it? The Container Store? I'm sorry, what? Right. So that is that tends to be it's the lack of understanding between the executives, the operations teams, and the business, because they kind of treat each other of you work for me. Everybody kind of is like, you work for me, and they're trying to be the leader. Everyone wants to be the big dog, but they don't want to work together. To the examples before, when the groups work together, it works really well.
There's a role and responsibility thing there. There's people doing what they want to do. If I'm a developer, I want to develop. That's what I want to spend my time doing. Sitting around in meetings, figuring out what my standard operating procedure for whatever should be sounds really tedious. And yet, for everyone to be seeing the world from each other's point of view, you've got to have some crossover there, don't you?
You do, but actually, I had a conversation recently about standard operating procedures. So I'll share about that for a moment here. It's I have a friend working IT operations in a company, and they're replacing him. So they're like, we need you to train. We need you to show these guys what you're doing, and we need you to train your replacements here before we let you go. Like this is real time going on, you know. So they're like, what's your standard operating procedure for creating a mailbox? You mean creating a mailbox? How do I do that? You create a mailbox. Like, yeah, but where's like the formal walkthrough process of creating a mailbox? So, I'm sorry. I thought you knew what you were doing. I thought you were the person for this job. So that becomes the lack of standard operating procedure. It tends to be more present than it is a thing, and that kind of ties back to the lack of cohesion between each of those groups, right? It's because developers want to develop, but they don't want to have to worry about where their job is going to be going. IT operations want to deliver their services and operations, but they also don't want to necessarily have to feel like, oh, I can be replaced by a chatbot. It's
Mhm.
like, hey, request service, here you go. Or a card swipe kind of thing. They want some level of assurance in their job, so some of them may actually add in some layers of tension to make the job security kind of thing, which I'm more of a fan of. Let's automate and eliminate our job so we can focus on the next part of our job instead of having to slow the chain down. But a lot of people in IT fall in that area of intentionally or unintentionally doing things in such a way that they are, a requisite part of the role. And that falls outside the realms of, it's not a DevOps problem, it's not an IT operations problem. In some cases it might be seen as a lack of connection between them and the, executive and leadership management. And that's
Yeah.
that's way
Yeah.
way beyond the scope of
Yeah,
this.
I've worked in a couple of organizations where there was someone in the middle, some kind of a middle manager that understood what IT was doing very well and could effectively communicate with the business and kind of played a coordinating role on both sides, kind of a proxy between the two. And that
Mhm.
led to some success. It helped keep, if not understanding each other's specific detailed processes and procedures necessarily, but at least marching to the beat of the same drum, working on the same project priorities and so on.
Well, and that actually touches heavily on having the same priorities, being on the same page, going in the same direction, as opposed to, like everybody in the same bus on the way to the fair, versus everyone in their own car. Like, yeah, we're gonna stop and get drinks. So, because certain parts, if every siloed part of an organization is in their own car, some of them might take a little longer. Some might take a different road to get there. We're all going to the same place. We all know we have the same destination in mind, but that kind of changes the route for. I actually love this analogy. It kind of changes the route for SLA delivery, because if we all leave the station at the same time on the same train, we're going to get there. But if everyone's taking a different path, who knows?